Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to share my top line petite style tips. As someone that is 5'3", I have been using these tips myself for many years, and there are also some things that I've noticed work for other people. So these are practical things you can use in your real life so that you look good in everyday life and not just on camera or video. So let's get started. So first things first, when I say petite, I'm referring to a height classification and no more. It has nothing to do with your body composition or anything other than how tall you are. And it's pretty much universally agreed upon that petite is 5'4" and under. And knowing that can help you identify petite clothing because clothing marketed towards petites has been downsized slightly. The proportions will typically be a little bit better for someone under 5'4", and the sleeves will be shorter and the inseam will be shorter. So with that said, it's very important to know where you are petite. Are you petite all over? Or are you only petite in one part of your body and not another? So using myself as an example, I am a petite in my arms. I almost always need petite tops unless I push them up or roll them or cuff them. And having a petite jacket, for example, always fits me exactly right on my wrists and at the shoulders. Now that said, my legs being a little bit longer, I don't typically need petite pants, and I'm able to buy regular pants and they're fine. And I maybe take them up an inch here or there if I'm being super nitpicky. So understanding what's petite for you and what's not is very, very helpful and a good place to start. So when it comes to petite styling advice, I think we can break it into two basic categories. The first is to allow yourself to appear taller in photos and videos, and that's really only achievable if you are alone. As soon as you're with another person in a photo, your height will become obvious. So it's not really always the best practical advice for actually living your life. And then the second is that you can just embrace what makes you individual and really lean into that uniqueness. Now, that said, my second tip is to please find a tailor. It is going to completely change your world. And as soon as I started having my clothing tailored as a teen, my mom took me to the tailor, it completely transformed how I looked at fashion. And I no longer felt like I wanted to be taller. And instead, I could take my clothing that I loved and have it customized to me. So I highly, highly recommend it. You'll be able to take things that are vintage or secondhand or even just something from a brand that you really love and have it tweaked to fit you perfectly and your overall height. So definitely, definitely find a tailor. My next tip is to take pictures of your outfits. So as always, I recommend wearing things that make you feel really good. And I think that that's always the most important part when getting dressed because that's how we live and breathe in life. And there aren't many instances where you're actually going to be photographed, but being myself and having a YouTube channel and an Instagram and blog that I've put my photos on, and having been photographed a lot the last couple years, I use this information so that I know what will translate well on camera, because real life and camera are very different, like I mentioned earlier. So you can use this information if you take your photos at about shoulder level, that's how people see you, and that's typically how people take photos, to then get dressed for an event. So that if you're going somewhere, maybe a wedding or something special, birthday party, and you know you're gonna have your photo taken, you can feel really confident with those photos. Because I used to really avoid having my photo taken because it didn't translate the way that I wanted it to. So instead, I'm able to take control of that, and it's been very, very freeing for me. So I recommend it for you as well. I also really like to build my own proportions using separates. So whether you can't get to the tailor or you don't have access to petite sizing, working with separates is a really good way to tailor things to you. So you can take a top and tuck it in exactly where you want it. Blouse it out a little bit, you can push up sleeves, you can wear things intentionally a little bit more oversized. With pants, you can cuff them, and it helps create those proportions that are happening within your own body a little bit more easily. It's also easier to find separates, and it's a lot more versatile when it comes to your wardrobe because you can mix and match, which you know that I love. My next tip is to go for things that are cropped. So cropped tops, cropped jackets, cropped pants. Chances are those proportions are going to be basically perfect for you, so they might not translate as cropped on you. And it's a good way to find things that are going to hit exactly where you want them without the need to tailor. So cropped pants might be the perfect length on you. And then similarly, one of my favorite ways to create silhouettes and proportions that I like on a petite stature is to allow some breathing room. So accenting where your body naturally tapers, I think, is a beautiful way to do this. So maybe showing off your ankles, showing off your wrists, showing off your clavicles or your neck if you have a particularly long neck, sharper shoulders. I think that anything at the waist usually works. Anything to bring your features into focus, because when clothing is oversized or built more for someone a little bit taller, you can get a little bit lost. So really accenting places where you naturally taper allows people to see the exact silhouette of you, which I think always looks fantastic. I also really love to mix silhouettes in order to use that same mentality of bringing your features into focus. So wearing an oversized top but very slim cropped pants, or a very slim close to the body top with pants that are more oversized and big and a little bit voluminous maybe. And playing around with those proportions is a wonderful way to showcase what makes you individually petite. It's also a really fun way to play with things that you might be able to find in traditional sizing and make them work for you and your petite sizing. So I really like oversized shirts, and I love pairing them particularly with really thin cropped pants, a smaller shoe to really showcase that proportion, and then also rolling up the sleeves and showcasing my wrists and leaving a little bit of breathing room up top. And all together, it allows me to wear things that are largely too big for me, but in a way that makes it feel intentional and very deliberate. So definitely play with that. Something else that I've been doing more recently and paying a lot more attention to is scaling things down. So because being petite typically means that you're a little bit shorter than average, things are gonna more or less appear slightly oversized, and specifically when it comes to accessories, this can be used to your advantage to create proportions that you want. So maybe wearing a really oversized earring will showcase just how petite your height is. And then on the opposite end, getting a handbag that's proportionately smaller to you will look like it was made specifically for you. So people will notice you and the intentionality behind your look. So looking for things that are micro or small sized is a really good way to do this, and something that I really enjoyed doing myself. And last but not least is to look to fellow petites for styling advice. Inspiration is so important for building your wardrobe. You know, I talk about it all the time, and it can help you figure out what you like and what you don't like and give you a clear focus. But I think it's particularly helpful when you look to people with similar coloring and, of course, a similar height, because you can see what works for them, what they really love wearing, and what translates well on camera. So again, you can use that for special events and then just everyday living. So I've been doing this more, and it's been so helpful. It's been giving me so many insights into styling nuances that you kind of do intuitively but sometimes forget about. So I definitely recommend it, and I would love to know in the comments down below anyone you look to and their height, so that I can compile a list for all of us to refer to. So I hope that this was helpful. I would love to make more videos like this. Definitely let me know if you're interested, and like always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Have a great day.